The following clip is brought to you with no commercial interruption.
Okay, so today we're going to work with tubing. I like working with tubing, especially for on-site training, because it is very compatible. You can throw it in a bag, very easy to work with. And so again, no excuses. We're on site, work out at work if you got a minute, at home. So the first thing I'm going to illustrate is a squat. And through these different exercises, we're going to be doing modified versions and a little bit more advanced if you want something a little bit more intense. Your tubing resistance, you may notice if you go shopping for some, they come in different resistance. Just choose if you want to do a heavy resistance, go for a heavier. If you want to do a light with high reps, then go for that. On this video, I'm doing it with a really pretty heavy resistance. So the first one we're going to do is just a regular squat. Simple squat. Make sure your feet are outside the hips. Make sure you're taking a seat. Imagine you're taking a seat. And then we're going to go right into squat jumps for those who want something a little bit more advanced and more intense. So our other exercise, working chest and front delt shoulders, is a pec fly. Important thing to note in the pec flies is to make sure your arms stay fully extended. So if you notice they're not locked, they're fully extended, and then you're going to go just come for the heart. Line it up with the heart, come out to a full extension, squeezing through the rear delt to get through that nice range of motion. Again, just stand with a regular stance, or if you want to increase intensity, get yourself in a static lunge. Just get down nice and deep, 2 90-degree angles in that lunge, through the front heel, and the rear leg is on the toe, so that it allows those 2 90-degree angles, and that will nail your pec fly in working efforts to work your chest. After you pec fly, we're going to go into a push-up. So you'll notice the chair. Again, I like to use a chair because you can find a chair anywhere on site. I take 2 chairs and just get a really nice deep push-up. Gets a little deeper to the back as well. Again, modified, you can do it on your knees. What's important is form and getting that depth through the chest, that good range of motion. So if you're fine on the toes, great. If you have to drop to knees, it's all good. Okay, again, with the chair, still using that chair, you want to come on around front and take it into those tricep dips. The important thing here is that a lot of times, a lot of people don't allow the arms to get that bend. They just kind of lower themselves up and down, keeping those arms really extended. You got to lower yourself, getting that bend in the arms. Isolate through those triceps, try to pin those elbows straight behind you. You can, again, modify, have just feet in front, straight in front. They can be bent, feet flat on the floor with a bent knee. Or if you want a little bit more intensity, do the leg switches like this. Just cross one leg right over the other. Add some intensity, get that heart rate up, keeping the whole body involved. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is biceps curls. Very simple. Just stand with line your feet right up with your hips. Soften those knees. It always involves the core. Have a single leg biceps curls that usually lightens the resistance on the band, or bring both legs through to increase the resistance on the band and get a fuller range of motion on the biceps curls. Go through that full range of motion all the way down and all the way up, all the way down and all the way up, especially when both feet are through. Be able to do that. And our last thing is the core. The best thing is for the core. A lot of things, it's debatable. It's all good, but I like core stabilization exercises. So the plank. Plank, again, using your chair. You can get on the floor with this as well, but if you're in a location where you don't want to touch the floor, well, you have the option to just use the chair. Plank, remember, we're straight as a board. And then add a little bit of intensity. You can either hold that plank or add a little bit of an intensity by giving it a little pike. Kind of like a pelvic tilt. Everybody kind of has a different understanding of it, but basically you're going into a very slight hike. Make sure you don't dip too much. You don't want those hips to dip down. You want to stay just a slight hike up and straight back into it, straight as a board. Excellent for core stabilization and core strengthening. This was a full body workout using a tube and usually a chair which you can find anywhere. These are workouts that are important to me because as an on-site trainer, I like to try to think in a ways to keep things simple. Nothing too fancy,